So E3 2019 is here, and Microsoft just announced a new Xbox model that's coming next year, 2020, holiday season 2020. And some people are like, "Oh, that's so soon already, man. What the heck?" And I just think they don't realize how much time has already passed. Cuz, well, first off, the Xbox 360 was a huge leap in terms of gaming hardware and technology and all that stuff. And the Xbox wasn't around that long. I think it was around like 4 or 5 years or something like that. 6 years tops, I think. But then when it went from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, that gap was like 10 years. And that was the longest video game cycle in history. Well, other than the Atari. But that's the Atari. So, so a lot of people keep thinking the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One or the PS3, the PS4, that huge chunk, that should be the standard. But technology keeps on growing, and if you really look back and looked at the Xbox 360 and the PS3, they were really lagging behind in terms of graphics and stuff. And when they went to the PS4 or the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, a lot of people were like, where's the huge tech upgrade? It was barely an upgrade. And so when the Xbox One S came out, it was a little bit more of an upgrade, but still wasn't good enough. And then the Xbox One X came out, I believe it was last year in 2018? Or, no, it was 2017, so it was 2 years ago. So the Xbox One X came out, and that was a good enough upgrade because they realized the Xbox One and the Xbox One S wasn't good enough. Even the PS4 realized it, so they had the PS4 Pro and then the Xbox One X, but they still had to keep it within the same game life cycle because they originally released in 2013. It's 2019 now, so that's 6 years, but then they released it in 2017, so that was only like 4 years. A 4-year life cycle, that is definitely not long enough for most consoles, at least the price of the consoles now, because that was about the time or the time frame for like the Super Nintendo or something like that. Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64, I think. But still, the prices weren't $500, $600 or whatever for the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro and all that, $400, $500. So the new Xbox is just called Project Scarlett, and I kind of wanted to talk about the reveal trailer and, you know, post it, or I wanted to play the reveal trailer and talk about it because some of the stuff they said is incredibly ignorant, and if you're a console player, you need to be aware of this, at least from a PC gamer's perspective. I know a lot of PC gamers are like, "Oh man, PC gaming is so much better than console gaming," and all that BS. It can get really stupid and really annoying. I'm not going to be like that. I'm just going to tell you the straight up facts and the BS that they're trying to peddle in this Xbox trailer.
When we think about the future of gaming, it's not just PC, it's not just console, it's not just mobile. It's really all of the above.
Xbox is all about choice. We're investing in technology all throughout the game stack.
We put the fan at the center of every decision we make.
The games you want with the people you want on the devices that you want.
And for us, that starts with our next generation console.
We don't want to build just another console. We truly want it to be transformative.
More immersion, more exploration, more detail.
How do we make it easier for people to get into the game, to stay in the game?
One of the things that gamers and developers are incredibly excited about is reducing load times.
I'm an RPG gamer, and so like loading screens are a thing.
You're sitting there in the fake elevator because you know that the game's loading in the background. This is just an elevator ride forever.
That's our goal with gaming, is that you don't have those pauses.
This generation is special because we've really unlocked this new capability to connect with the characters and worlds in a way that no previous generation has allowed.
This generation is going to be a bigger leap than any generation we've done before.
At the heart of our next generation console is our custom design processor, leveraging the latest Zen 2 and Navi technology from our partners at AMD. From a pure processing perspective, this is 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X. We're leveraging high bandwidth GDDR6 to ensure that we're getting the best performance possible.
Okay, so first the CPU. I'm actually really impressed with the CPU. They have a new AMD CPU. They say it's 4 times better than the Xbox One X processor. And so I am incredibly impressed with that. And I did want to make one point for console gaming, because usually when the consoles first come out, they actually sell it at a loss. And I know I said that consoles can be pretty expensive, but right when it first comes out, usually the hardware is so great that they have to kind of sell it at a loss and hope to make up the revenue with the accessories or the games or things like that. So the hardware compared to gaming hardware, computer gaming hardware, is usually kind of in line. It's usually a little bit cheaper. But again, you're stuck with a console. You can't really upgrade it.
It's going to usher in resolution and frame rates that we've never seen before. Like, never seen before.
We're looking at frame rates up to 120 frames per second.
8K capability.
Variable refresh rate.
Next gen ray tracing. It's real time because it's hardware accelerated for the first time ever.
And then they start talking about resolution and frame rate. Oh, we've never seen this before. 120 frames per second. I've been gaming on my PC at 144 frames per second for the past year or two, maybe. And so we've seen this before. Maybe we haven't seen this on console gaming. We can say that. We haven't seen this in console gaming, 120 frames per second. But at the same time, if you're doing 120 frames per second, you will have to buy a monitor that supports the higher refresh rate. Or they're going to have to put out TVs that have higher refresh rates, because if you buy a TV that's marketed at 120 hertz or whatever, it's really 60 hertz that's using some sort of post-processing technology or whatever that just makes it look 120 frames per second, but it's really not. So if you want to actually take advantage of that 120 frames per second, you're going to have to get a gaming monitor, or hopefully they will come out with a TV gaming monitor combos that I have kind of seen in development, but I'm not sure when or if they're gonna ever come out. So if this thing really can play like 8K video, I assume it can't do 8K gameplay and 30 frames per second or even 60 frames per second. I seriously doubt it can do that. Then you would have to use like DisplayPort or something. HDMI will not be able to do that. I don't even think HDMI can do 8K, can it? I'm not 100% sure. But so anyways, if they do 8K, that is still huge. Even if it's just video, like no 8K gameplay, fine. 8K video, that is huge, but still at this time there is no 8K video available. So you're just saying, oh, we can do 8K, but we don't have any 8K video to look at. Well, maybe up on YouTube you can stream 8K YouTube videos. That's that. But they did put 120 frames per second right next to 8K, and I know it cannot do 8K 120 frames per second. I know it cannot do that, because if it did, it would be minimum $1,000 easily minimum $1,000 console. But they were two different people just edited side by side. One said 120 frames per second, the other person said 8K. But anyways, let's continue with the video.
What I'm personally most excited about is the SSD.
We've created a new generation of SSDs. We're actually using the SSD as virtual RAM.
We're seeing more than 40 times performance increases over the current generation.
The combination of the SoC and the solid-state drive are really what gives you a totally new experience.
Okay, I got really annoyed with that guy because he said the combination of the SSD and the solid-state drive. SSD stands for solid state drive. That's what it is. So if you're trying to combine it, that's like saying the combination of the microphone with the microphone is great, or the combination of the mic with the microphone. That is exactly the same thing as what he just said. So it is incredibly stupid, and I don't know why the editors put that in. But I'm just gonna, let's move on from that. Let's actually talk about the SSD. So SSDs are excellent. They pretty much replaced hard drives. A lot of people replace their hard drives with SSDs. Some people use SSDs with hard drives like me. I've been using an SSD since 2015. But people that got the PS4 back in 2013, 2014, 2015 and stuff, they said it is actually really easy to just remove the hard drive and put an SSD in the PlayStation 4. So people were already using SSDs on PlayStation 4, and people have been using SSDs in their PC computers. So it is not something new. It is not something groundbreaking. It's been around for years. It's been around for so long that you can get like a 500 gigabyte SSD for like $100 now. So it's pretty cheap. Back when I first got it, 500 gigabytes was like $500, maybe a little bit more. Anyways, so solid state drives are great, but I was a little bit confused. Let me go back real quick, because they said that the processor is using GDDR6 RAM. Although most graphic cards use GDDR5 RAM, I think some were starting to use GDDR6, so that is an upgrade. But I'm thinking that's just the graphics RAM. That is not with the CPU, although they did say it next to the CPU. So that was confusing. But if they're using the SSD as memory for the CPU, well, actually, it wouldn't be faster than GDDR6. So hopefully they are using the GDDR6 for the memory for the CPU. But then they're saying they are using the SSD as memory. So I was getting a little bit confused because GDDR6, I believe, should be much faster than an SSD. So if they're saying they're using the SSD for better performance with like computing or something, that's not good. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm getting all mixed up with all them cutting to different developers and different people, but an SSD is great for loading games, load times. The CPU that they have is great for rendering it. GDDR6 is great for rendering the graphics and everything. So hopefully they just keep that like that. Let's continue.
Now we can take all of that power and apply it back into the scene, so we can actually generate more life in that world and bring it to the gamer in a seamless way.
So that then you're fully experiencing what the game developer wants you to experience.
When you can move through worlds without waiting for screens to load, that speed, that performance is what the next generation is about.
This is the most immersive console experience ever.
What we really want to do is give developers the power to build the game they've always envisioned.
We have hundreds of people across both our first-party studios as well as our third-party studios working on those next-generation experiences today.
There's an amazing commitment to content at Xbox Game Studios. 13 studios, 7 in the last year. That's a big family.
At 343, for us, it's always about more seamless worlds. With the next generation, we can bring the world to life in a way we've never experienced Halo before.
See, that part also annoyed me because it's like, oh, look at this brand new Xbox and we have all these developers and the Xbox team, huge family. This new Xbox is going to be a great way to see Halo. It's like, come on, can't you show some of your new stuff? I know Halo is like the Microsoft emblem, like Mario and Nintendo or whatever, but it is not anywhere on the tier of Mario that everybody loves Mario. People are getting a little sick of Halo, and people don't even really care about the story. They just like the multiplayer. Nobody's like, oh, you hear about the latest story in the Halo universe? Maybe some people are like that, but that's not what they're betting on when they're talking about it on E3 and all the trailers and all that stuff. After Halo 3 and Halo Reach, people just stopped caring about the story. But they are bringing back those games with the Master Chief Collection on PC, but that's not the next-gen Xbox console. Anyways, let's just finish off the video.
We're delivering 4 generations of content better than you've ever seen them before.
This console is especially awesome for Game Pass members. With the faster load times, you're going to be able to experience all the games within just the snap of your fingers.
We're giving gamers the option to connect across devices and across platforms in a way that we never were able to before.
I don't lose my last generation as I move into the next generation, the people I play with and the games that I want to play. That experience should be continuous and always growing.
This isn't just a console launch. This is about the future of gaming.
Your games, your achievements, your progression, your accessories, your console gaming experience with Xbox, it all comes forward with Scarlett.
So it's just called Project Scarlett. It'll be releasing holiday 2020, as I already said. No price yet, but that'll be 7 years since the Xbox One release. So a 7-year life cycle of the Xbox One. Now we're going to Project Scarlett. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it does live up to some of the hype. So there is some great hardware in there, but maybe it's just the editor. Maybe it's not the developers that are like mixing it up. It's probably just a video editor that didn't know anything about hardware, that's just chopping it up and just trying to put it together and like, this is the next Xbox, check it out or something. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I would like to buy it, but I'm going to have to save up. I still have a lot of bills to pay and everything. But you guys can tell me what you guys think in the comments. Are you guys excited for Project Scarlett? Are you more excited for the CPU, the GDDR6, the SSD, or hopefully it'll be more cross-platform stuff, because they kind of did say cross-platform. Hopefully it'll be more connected Xbox with PC like they did before. Get a digital copy, you'll get it on both consoles, well, both systems, I should say. And if they keep doing this whole cloud rendering, cloud-based stuff, hopefully all the information, all the games and saves from the previous generation will make it over to the next generation. Because they did talk about Game Pass, which is probably the older games using the SSD. If you use an older game with an SSD, it will load just like that. I've played Call of Duty 4 just the other day on my gaming PC, and the SSD loaded each level within like 1 to 2 seconds, like literally 1 to 2 seconds. But anyways, that's pretty much all I got to say. I love to hear you guys' comments if you guys are excited for Project Scarlett, and if you're gonna buy it, and tell me what you guys think the price, or guess what you think the price is gonna be. I'm gonna say $600, just off the top of my head. I don't know, but I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for more information on the tech, and I'll report back here.